And our Bible reading this week is going to be in Hebrews chapter 12. So grab your Bible and head over there, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in chapter 12, Jeff, that pertains to being zealous for good deeds. So
Yes.
you picked the reading.
Why are we here?
Why are we here? Let's talk about it.
Well, Hebrews chapter 12, again, we're coming off the reading this past week in Hebrews chapter 11, the week before that in Hebrews chapter 10. So we've been reading through Hebrews here for a while. And especially when you get to chapter 12, I think the Hebrew writer is kind of getting to some of his kind of payoff point writing, taking some of the themes that we've had up to this point and kind of bringing them to their climax. And so, one of them, one of the ideas here then is that, the Lord disciplines those whom he loves, and that's hard. And so the life of learning to follow God through whatever and pursue holiness is hard. That's going to lead to setbacks and challenges. And so especially starting in verse 12, the application for us, besides our own enduring the discipline of the Lord in our lives, is to help each other. Therefore, lift the drooping hands and strengthen the weak knees. Make straight paths for your feet, so what is lame may not be put out of joint. And it goes on to give some other practical advice from there. But this idea of life as a journey, we are Israel on our way to the promised land, and so let's make sure nobody stumbles. Let's do what we can to help each other. Part of good works is helping each other on this journey as we go through the chastening discipline of the Lord.
So this is actually well timed.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when we move into October, as a church family, we're going to focus on this idea of stirring up each other to love and good deeds, which is Hebrew's language, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
And so as we think about being zealous for good works, there is a dimension of that involves helping others. Stirring to good works actually is one of the good works in which we need to be involved in. And so there's almost this this cheerleading role that we have, if I could describe it that way, where we encourage each other along.
Right.
And it seems to me that this segment you've identified, really you could kind of take 12 through 17, he identifies some specific ways to do that.
He does.
I think about, the fear for the wayward. Is in here.
Well, that's right. And again, one of the things we've been pushing all year, the good deeds we are called to are not just, good acts of meeting physical needs, but spiritual needs. This is a passage about spiritual needs. People are weak. They may fall away on this journey to God's holy mountain here at the end of chapter 12, the promised land earlier in the book of God's eternity. But we're going to the presence of God. We're going to lose some people on the journey. We've got to do everything we can to for their spiritual welfare, to keep them with us on this journey to go see God.
And my attention was also drawn to verse 14, this idea of pursuing peace with all men, and the vital role that plays in the kingdom and our ability to effectively do the work of God. I think sometimes, especially, can I say this? Are we far enough past 2020 to say that in 2020 and 2021 we just saw almost a focused effort on stirring the pot rather than making peace. And how much did we miss the voices of those who would say, God's going to get us through this. Right. And we need to hear our shepherds, and we need to forego our liberties to be one.
Yeah.
That would be anathema language a year or two ago, right?
So, and that's the thing at the end of the day, then even the rest of that verse, and the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. So again, that discipline that's purifying us there too. So you got all of this. But part of the fruits of God's holiness is peace with each other.
So as we do the read this week, I guess we really have two things to kind of work on. One of the things is this stirring up of each other, this good work of helping others to be zealous. But then as a piece of that, there are all these other good works that begin to line up that we can do in our efforts to do that. So as we read through Hebrews 12, let's ponder that this week.